The Lake Erie Grape Discovery Center is the official visitor center for the New York State Lake Erie Concord Grape Belt Heritage Area. Supporting and promoting the grape industry, visit us and learn about grape growing history in the Lake Erie region. Shop for grapey gifts, taste local wine in a Concord vineyard. Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. From the Access Channel 5 studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Channel 5. Continuing the traditions of Senior Report, we are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week, countywide, from 9 to 10 a.m. Join us by calling in live, emailing us, or checking out our social media. And now, from the Channel 5 studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
There we are. Good morning, everyone. I just needed to make sure I could see you all before I started talking. Good morning and welcome to Chautauqua Sunrise. I'm Doc Hamels, and I am so glad to be back in Chautauqua County. It's always nice to get away, and I want to thank Randy Burt for filling in for me last week and his guest Sam Jenko. I know it was a really fun and very informative show. But as I always say, Florida is nice, but I sure love Chautauqua County. I like the hills, the green stuff, the colors, the seasons, and everything else. And so no slam on Florida, but even though it's a little cooler right now here than it was down there, it's really nice to be home. All right, so I got all kinds of things to share with you today before I get to my guest. So I'm going to do my best because you guys, you listened to me, you followed up, and you sent me all kinds of stuff, and that's what we're about here, is sharing information with you. So let's just jump right in right off the bat. I want to mention that my underwriters, those are the folks that you see in the beginning of the show before I even come on. They're folks that support the show here. And if you haven't had a chance, get over to Westfield Memorial Hospital. They got all new look out there, all new colors and new insignia and so forth. And they're always upgrading their services, so check them out. I see they just popped this up. I want to say good afternoon to our friends over in Jamestown at WRFA, Low Power to the People, 107.9. I'd like to thank you for joining us Tuesdays at 1 o'clock, and it's good to be back. Okay, moving right along. If you have a question or a comment as I'm going through my part here or later on in the show, you can always give us a call at 753-5225. I actually remember that. You know, sometimes you think, I'm not going to remember everything to say when I get back from vacation, but it's all ingrained inside my head there. Okay, so I talked about the hospital a little bit, one of my underwriters. The other underwriter that I want to talk about this morning, and we can talk about all of them for that matter, but we don't have enough time. But one of our newer underwriters is Meter's Restaurant over in Ripley, and they just sent me a note. just reminding people that the holidays are coming, and they have a big old banquet hall there, banquet room, and they can accommodate up to 125 people. So if you're interested, give them a call. Okay. The Safety Village, my good friends over there, I just got this. Okay, their 2018 cash calendar just came out, and if you're not familiar with it, for $20 you buy a calendar, and throughout the months of the year on certain days they give out money. For instance, I don't know, let's see here, on January 30th, there's a $20 surprise gift card. I don't know where it's to, but they'll pull your name, because what you do is when you buy the calendar, you fill out this part here, and it's like entering a contest, and throughout the year, you have all kinds of chances to win. I forgot. I once added up, I think it's a couple hundred chances, and a lot of people I've sold these to, especially through our Rotary Club and that, they've won money and prizes and so forth. So it's a nice way to support the Safety Education Village right in Asheville, and these are now on sale. Okay, I hardly ever talk about Washington, D.C., but since this was something I did locally, I'll talk about it very briefly. Y'all know that there's all this stuff going on in Washington as far as cutting the taxes and tax reform and all that. So I got this little reminder the other day on my phone, to talk to my congressman and make sure blah, 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 blah. Saw that. Half the time, most of us just ignore that thing. So I thought, what the heck? So I got it on my Facebook. I text Tom Reed, and within like 10 minutes, I got an answer. And so he or his staff, I'm not sure, you never know, could have been some Russian operative, I don't know. Anyways, I got a very nice response to my question, and I replied, "Isn't this nice? We're having a civil chat." And so through the discussion, it was sort of a laugh there, because I know that these guys have been under huge fire when they go out to these town meetings. Anyways, but then we went back and forth a couple times, and so I just wanted to say it was really nice to get a personal comment and response to my question. So, guys, folks, ladies and gentlemen, they're there. You vote them in or vote them out, but contact them. They do respond. So, anyways, that was nice. All right, speaking of congressmen and politics, November 7th is coming up fast and furious, and I'm writing something down as I remember here. Okay, I got it. So before I forget it, November 7th, that's next Tuesday, is Election Day. Now you might say, ho-hum. Well, it's more than ho-hum. We're going to be electing a brand new county executive and all of the county legislature. That's huge, because this is local. This isn't so much, far, far away in another galaxy. This is what affects us here in Chautauqua County. I know only 5 of the legislative races are being contested, so have a look. Check it out. Just don't sit at home and say, "Oh, what good does it do?" It makes a big difference. I know in my community, sometimes 1 or 2 votes makes a difference between a budget or someone getting elected. So do your part. Of course, and then the county executive, Vince is tired. He tells me he's ready to go play with grandkids, and good on him. And so, as you know, we got 2 candidates, Mike Ferguson and George Borello, who you got to meet right here on Access 5, and I was able to chat with them and make your decision. Read up on them, look at the literature and so forth, and give it your best shot. But vote. If you don't vote, then you can't complain later, right? And then, of course, there's some propositions, and I'm still studying up on those. But as far as the proposals, you might want to take a look at those. I'm sure they'll have those in the newspaper, or you can go online and check it out. Okay, now, Jeff, you help me on this. Daylight savings time tonight, I think? All right, fall back. All right, so for those of you that want to stay up late, you get an extra hour. For those of you who want to go to bed early, you get an extra hour of sleep, whatever it is. So set the clocks, because there's nothing like showing up for church at the wrong time or meeting somebody for breakfast too early. And then, of course, next week is Veterans Day, and we're going to talk more about that because that's our topic today. But check out what's going on. I know in Ripley we're having a ceremony at 11 o'clock on the 11th day of the 11th month. And my son Scott always tells me I have to remember 11, 11, 11, 11, and all that sort of thing. But, remember our veterans in any way you can coming up. And let's see. And then Marianne Spanos was here before I went on vacation. And we want to remind you that as you get bombarded with all this mail on your insurance policies, on Medicare and so forth, give them a call if you're interested, if you have any questions, and that your enrollment period, either to first join Medicare or if you want to switch policies and switch coverages, you've got to December 7th to do so. But go to the Office for the Aging, give them a call over there. I think we have that number somewhere. And ask them for an appointment, and as Chris said, that who was here as well, don't wait too long because they're filling up fast and there's just only so many slots that they can provide the community members. So if you have any questions, they do really, really good work there. Okay, and so now into the things that you all sent me. So here we go. I'm going to go as quickly as I can without stuttering. Let's go to our first slide. New instructors at Infinity. I got this right? Here we go. Ooh, look at this. Cody Hiller is plays violin. He's returning from Chicago. Cody's excited to be actively teaching and performing at Infinity in his hometown, once again having taught private students since 2012 and serving as violin instructor at Music for Kids, a nonprofit music school in Chicago. All right, so he is one of the new instructors at Infinity. And then we have, oh boy, let's see if I can say this correctly. I'll give it my best shot. Jan Brager, she's teaching fabric arts. I think that's a new one, Randy. Have you ever heard of fabric arts? Let's see what this is. She's a lifelong resident of Jamestown. She's a graduate of Jamestown High School and Allegheny College, where she earned her bachelor's degree in communications. Oh, I got it now. Sewing has been a lifelong hobby, and Jan has costumed over 25 musicals and plays, predominantly for Cassadaga Valley's Central School and Jamestown Community College. Now I got it. So costuming and sewing and creating with fabrics and so forth. Whoa, that's way cool. So congratulations, Cody and Jan, for being now part of the Infinity crew over there, the performing arts. And then also they want you to know over there that music, art, dance, theater students of all levels are welcome to enroll in private and group lessons. The Infinity and Visual Performing Arts Center will hold a new student orientation and intake session on Thursday, November 16th. All right, for more information, give them a call at 664-0991. And the orientation lasts about 30 minutes. So if you're interested, give them a call. All right, this is not on the list, but I'm going to edit right now for my friends over at the Reg and over at WRFA, Dennis Drew and Company. December 9th, they are going to have a holiday showcase, and I just saw the lineup, and it's going to be a show, I believe, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon that day. It's a Saturday, and yours truly, Will Russell, will be in the first half of the show, but they've got a great lineup of musicians and choirs and singers and so on, and it's all going to be for the holidays. So we'll provide more information as we get it for you on that, but that's coming up. Mark your calendars, December 9th. Okay, if you're interested, let me see here. The Children's Safety Education Village I just mentioned a little while ago is providing a babysitting training course. We've talked about this a little bit in the past, but listen up because this is going to be next week, next Friday, this coming Friday, all right, November 10th. The babysitting training course will take place on Friday, November 10th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. This unique training provides hands-on learning that includes first aid, CPR, and AED training, as well as the Heimlich maneuver used for choking patients. No, Randy, we don't choke the people. That's if they're choking. All right, he thought I was going to choke somebody. Participants will learn how to feed, diaper, and care for infants and young children, communicate effectively with children and parents, offer age-appropriate games, recognize safety issues, and learn how to respond in emergency situations. It's a 6-hour course. It's designed for youth from ages 12 years old on up. So guys, this is super, and for many young folks, this is their first job. And I'll tell you, when our kids were growing up, it was hard to find a babysitter, especially babysitters that you could trust and feel good about. So if you're interested, it's $75. Give them a call at 338-0171 and ask for Jessica Dayton, or go to the Safety Village's Facebook and you can check it out there. Again, 338-0171. All right. And also they want you to know that they're offering a Heart Saver CPR AED class on Tuesday, November 21st from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Safety Village. And participants will complete the course, will receive a 2-year certificate for the American Heart Association Heart Saver CPR and AED training. Let's see, hang on a minute. This is for anyone 12 years and up. The cost is $45 with an additional $5 if the student will like a CPR certification. So if you're interested in Heart Saver, CPR, and AED classes, and in many cases folks are required for this certificate for their work, give them a call at 338-0171. All right, let's see here. Let's go to slide 16, Silver Creek Irving Heritage Fund. The Silver Creek Irving Heritage Fund recently awarded community grants to 4 local organizations totaling $1,500. The fund is a community-advised fund at the Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation. The Anderson Lee Library received $500 to renew their foundation directly online database subscription. That's a mouthful. Boy Scout Troop 252 received a grant of $300 for camping equipment. The Silver Creek Hanover Garden Club received $350 to provide a welcome sign, shrubbery, and a Veterans Memorial brick edging, and the Festival of Grapes was awarded $350 to support their window restoration project. So, as always, I mentioned that there are funds available through the Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation, and you should check them out or go to their website because they do this from time to time throughout the years. And some are more local, some are more broader for just anybody in the northern part of the county and so forth. Okay. Whew, here's another one. Let's go to the next slide. Jesse C. Wilson Memorial Charitable Trust. Okay, this is from the Westfield Memorial Hospital Foundation. Local philanthropists Janice and Ralph Wilson, along with other members of the Jesse C. Wilson Memorial Charitable Trust, demonstrated their commitment to Westfield Memorial Hospital when they recently received $10,000 as a gift to the foundation and through their annual RED campaign, which is Renovate Our Emergency Room. Now it's in its second year. The trust was formed for the purpose of gifting to local and nonprofit area organizations and charities that serve to educate, nurture, and encourage others. Okay, and if you're interested in giving to the Hospital Foundation or to the RED campaign, give them a call at 793-2338. Okay. All right, moving along, the 7th Annual Emporium. I think this is a new one. The Community Helping Hands 7th Annual Emporium is today, started right now, indoor craft show, flea market, and rummage sale event. That's today, November 4th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Gateway Center, 31 Water Street, off Foot Avenue, featuring arts, crafts, vendors, foods, antiques, basket auction, all kinds of cool stuff. And since it goes to 4 o'clock, I'll give you the phone number in case you want more information, 487-1488. And then my friends over at St. Susan's today, right now, let's see, hang on, till 11 o'clock. So you can watch the show and then scoot right over to St. Susan's. They're hosting their pancake breakfast fundraiser at 31 Water Street as well. The doors opened at 8 and they're going to be serving until 11. And this is what you get. Pancakes, bacon, potatoes, milk, juice, and coffee. Tickets are available at the door, $7 for adults and $4 for kids, 5 through 12. And takeouts are available. Proceeds from the event, of course, benefit the St. Susan Center, Jamestown Soup Kitchen, which is in its 33rd year of service. Jeff Smith and all the guys down there in Leal's doing great work for our community. Okay, November marks Tuesday Club hiatus until April. Okay, this last time we're going to mention this. In its first, no, let me get this right. The Mayville Tuesday Club and its November meeting will be wrapping things up for the season. And they are going to be listening to Kathleen Kennedy. And she'll be talking about her trip to Spain and Portugal while showing photos of those countries. Sometimes I stop and start here because what I try to do is kind of like paraphrase what I'm reading because sometimes it's sort of long. Okay, moving right along. Girl Scouts of Western New York are having their 25th anniversary celebration of their building. Okay, the entire community is invited next Saturday, November 11th, at 2661 Horton Road in Jamestown, up on the hill there. The formal program begins at 11 a.m. and the interactive exhibits last until 3. Volunteers, staff, friends, and guests will celebrate the 25th anniversary of the construction of the beautiful Girl Scout Service Center in Jamestown. So if you want to participate in that, give Jerry Lynn Hickey a call at 935-6047. Okay, let's see here. Then we got some things from the Chamber of Commerce for the county, and they're having what they call business after hours at Southern Tier Brewing. And this is, let's see, sign up for the Chamber's Experience Chautauqua Business After Hours at Southern Tier Brewing Company, Tuesday, November 14th. It's a long title. Space is limited and will fill up quickly, so advance registration is essential. It's $13 for pre-registered chamber members and $15 for non-members or walk-ins. Let's see. The event is sponsored by Affinity One Federal Credit Union, Anderson Cleaners, Buffamani, Whipple, Butterfaro, Northwest Arena, The Observer, The Post Journal, and Media One Group Radio. And so I mention these from time to time because businesses need to know that there's things going on that support them and that our county is working together as a group. All right, so let's see, what else can we go here? All right, let's go to slide 21, Jeff. All right, wait a minute, skip that. Yeah, I jumped ahead. These pages that you should go in your right order, then they know what slide to bring up. And somebody flipped the wrong page here. Cybersecurity seminar will be a topic on Wednesday, November 15th, when Phillips Lytle presents Deconstructing Cybersecurity Obligations. Continuing legal education program about recent legal issues raised by trends in technology and cybersecurity. Yeah, we'll hear a little bit about that. The program will be held from 8:30 to 10:30 at the Robert Jackson Center. They're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff. And if you're interested, give them a call at 847-5469. When I say stuff, I'm talking about for your businesses, your personal security, and how to protect your businesses' systems and so forth. So I'll give them a call, 847-5469. Okay, then Many Faces of Addiction Education Forum. No One Cause, No One Solution is a free community education forum for the public on Wednesday, November 15th at 6:30 p.m. at the JCC Sharman Theater. This event is being presented by the Healthcare Action Team, American Association of University Women, and the Mental Health Association of Chautauqua County. Featured speakers will be Karen McElrath, Professor of Criminal Justice at Fayetteville State University, Dr. Davina Moss King, Positive Directions and Associates, Andrew O'Brien, consultant from UPMC Chautauqua WCA. There's so many words in here. Leanna Luca Conley, Deputy Commissioner, Chautauqua County Department of Health and Human Services, Chief Harry Snellings, City of Jamestown Director of Public Safety, and Pastor Luke Fedor, St. Luke's Episcopal Church. The discussion will be moderated by Dr. Lillian Nay, Chair of the HCAT and MHA Advisory Board. Reservations are not required and all are invited to attend. Okay, and again, that's November 15th in JCC's Sharman Theater at 6:30. Slide 20, Youth Pop. Youth Power, a potential event, is going to be held Thursday, November 16th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Reg Linnaeus Center for the Arts, featuring presentation from the Power of Youth Advocacy by Dover Youth to Youth. Okay, Youth Pop video presentation by Hope Chautauqua, Youth Empowerment Program at Cassock Awareness Theater by Cranky's Plate Productions. Selfie station and refreshments. For more information, give them a call, 664-3608. Okay, now we're going to zoom to slide 21. Mayville Library book sale just down the road is going to be held November 18th through the 25th. And if you're looking for something maybe for Christmas, for that special someone that likes to read, they're going to have the sale through a variety of dates, anywhere from 10 to 2 and so on. And Basically, it looks like 10 to 2 on all those dates. Okay, so letting you know that. And then next slide, Lakeshore Model Railroad Association. This group was founded in 2011. The Railroad Association assembled to promote the all-scale hobby of model railroading for Western New York and Pennsylvania Lakeshore area. It's their mission to educate and show firsthand basic techniques into the digital era in all aspects of this incredible world-known hobby. We market ourselves to inspire youth and adults, according to them, equally to enjoy and become involved in the art of model railroading. Okay, so on Saturday, December 2nd, the group will host their second year for the annual Christmas open house to the public, and they'll have all kinds of displays. And it's going to be held at the Lakeshore Model Railroad Association at Eastminster Presbyterian Church across from the GE plant out on Lake Road in Erie, Pennsylvania. All right, so that's coming up. Sounds like fun. My oldest son, Scott, was a real model railroad buff. And then here's a new one. This is kind of interesting. Slide 23, okay? This just came through. The World Juniors Exhibition Games. All right, let's read it. I don't know what this is about. The World Juniors Exhibition Games presented by Doubletree by Hilton Jamestown are coming to the Northwest Arena this December. It's hockey. This will be the first time that the World Juniors have returned to the Jamestown area since 2010, where they played 3 sold-out games at the former arena. Spectators can expect to see 2 days worth of world-class competition. Games will feature Team USA against Belarus on Wednesday the 20th, and Belarus taking on Slovakia on the 21st. Several players from 2010 World Junior teams have gone on to have successful NHL careers. So this is going to be really fun. So tickets are 18 and 23 depending on where you sit. And for more information, give me a call at 484-2624. If you enjoy hockey, like I know my buddy Joe Gerasi does, check it out. That's it for today. Right now, I don't have any more announcements. I've run out of time for that. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be right with you with my guest.
It's a miracle that springs forth to feed us, to clothe us, to bring us joy. A miracle prompted by rain and warmed by the sun. But few realize without healthy soil below ground, there would be little life above it. Learn more about this miracle under our feet and how we're working with farmers and ranchers to unlock the secrets in the soil.
And there we are. Okay, welcome back. You're watching Chautauqua Sunrise. I'm Doc Hamels, and I want to welcome back to the show Greg Carlson, who's the Director of Chautauqua County Veteran Services. Services for the Veterans? Veteran Services.
But either way is
Either
fine.
way.
Thanks for having me.
But not the VA.
Not the VA, no.
Okay,
are
we always
the
make that
Veteran
clear
Services
up
for the
front.
county.
So Greg, welcome back, and I've been told it's your birthday, so happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
And I always look forward to this show because many of my family members have been in the service, and we talk a lot about stuff related to service, to retirement, to benefits, and we don't think about that sometimes when our younger guys and gals just come out of the service, but down the road sometimes they need these services. So it's always good to have you here, and Veterans Day is looming, and I know you're going to be busy, I'm sure, in the next week or so with lots of ceremonies and so forth. So what's new? What's new in your department, and what should we know right now? Anything coming up?
Well, obviously we have Veterans Day coming up, so there will be a host of activities that are going on throughout the week to honor our local veterans. Since the last time we've been on the show, the Private First Class Dwyer grant and Cindy Reedy, who is a coordinator, has just made this program grow leaps and bounds, and there's been multiple big events throughout the county that people have participated in. You'll probably see us in the paper, see it on Facebook. There's a bunch of events coming up for November. One of the things that you'd mentioned, hockey here in the local area, one of the things we're going to take part is in January is Buffalo Sabres game, and a lot of the vets from the Dwyer program will be going to see the Sabres play live and in the box, and it's getting a lot of guys out and gals out who were not out before, and that was what the goal of the program was. So some of these veterans and the spouses of veterans who may not have someone that they relate to directly, or maybe they were, for one reason or another, just not getting out in the public and not doing some other things, and this program has brought those peoples together, and it's making a huge change in lives of local veterans.
Now, you guys were on in May here, I believe, and
Yes.
we just talked about this program. It was like brand new, right?
It was brand new, and now it's like it's been here forever. Cindy's doing such a great job, and
So let's talk a little bit about that further. So Cindy Reedy is the coordinator, right?
correct.
And so if people are interested in getting involved with whatever they're doing, how do they get a hold of her?
Well, there's a whole bunch of different ways, but probably the best way is to just give her a call. And her office phone number is 661-8447. And then if you want to contact her by email or contact the program, it's Dwyer Chautauqua. So Dwyer would be D-W-Y-E-R, Chautauqua, common spelling, @gmail.com.
Okay.
So those would be the two. But we're on Facebook. We have regular things that you see around town. So
Okay. And this is to support families?
it's to support any.
veterans?
So Private First Class Dwyer was a young man who returned from Iraq, and he was struggling with adjusting to civilian life, and he kind of fell through the cracks of the VA system. For one reason or another, he was not able to navigate that bureaucracy, and we lost Private First Class Dwyer. So this grant, which Senator Young actually helped bring here, is to reach those guys and gals who are struggling to transition, and to get them out and put them with other people, other peer mentors, who might be able to understand what they're going through and the struggles that they have.
How many peer mentors do you have now?
Oh, I wish Cindy were here because she could answer that question, but I can tell you every event we have, I see dozens and dozens of people
Awesome.
who are regular attendees at some of the functions we have. I mean, just in November, we have our Wives and Girlfriends group on November 14th. We have our Vets Coffee Hour on November 15th, Game Night on November 27th. We have the North County Coffee Hour on November 28th, bowling November 30th, and then December 5th is the Female Vets Cookie Night, Lutheran Social Services. So just next month, there's a host of events that are taking place, and these things are usually very, very well attended.
Awesome. Now, take this at not as a slam or anything being trying to be stupid about it, but people are listening right now who may not have service members in their family who have been discharged and so forth. So they may be thinking, so what's the big deal? What's this transition thing? I mean, you're in the service for a few years, you get out, you can go to work, have a family, and life is good. That's not always the case.
Not always the case.
Why?
Well, sometimes the lingering effects of the battlefield last long beyond the battlefield. And it's really one of those things where it's really impossible to put into words, but not talking politics here, but President Bush used to say that it's not post-traumatic stress disorder because it's not a disorder. It's just post-traumatic stress because that is a normal reaction to some of the things that happen in that type of environment. And it's very difficult to relate because there's no military bases around here. So if you're the spouse of a veteran who's deployed many times for a year at a time, it's hard for someone to understand what it's like to be without the husband or the wife in the household while they're gone for a year, and all the challenges that go with that. And then once they come back, now you've developed your way of doing things. You have this way of life, and this person now comes back from that deployment, and you have to reintegrate and get used to having them share the responsibilities again and share the decisions. And I mean, the list goes on, just like anything else. Try to imagine whether you've served or not, sending your loved one away for a year to a very stressful, traumatic environment, and then you're home for a year worrying about them and managing the house and managing the family, and then you get used to that way of life. And then this person comes back after this year-long traumatic experience and tries to reintegrate into this household that you now run. That's just one example of many, because not every person who goes is married and has a spouse. But those are the types of things. We put these people together, and it's therapeutic for them to have people to share these common experiences with. They realize they're not alone. There is other people who understand them, and the things that they're going through is normal. I think sometimes that's half of it right there. When somebody feels something, they think, I'm all alone in feeling this, until they can talk to someone else who's feeling the same thing, and they don't feel so alone. There's somebody that they can call. There's someone they can talk to.
So the model really is similar to AA. It's similar to people that have been through abuse or whatever. It's getting people with people.
Correct.
Wow. I'm sure it's a very powerful model. So are you getting feedback from the ones that are in the transition, how that's going for them? Or?
Well, the feedback is, once again, Cindy would be the ideal person to talk with, but here's what the great feedback is. People who haven't left the house in months or in some cases years.
Haven't left the house, like
have not
walk out
leave the house.
door?
Yeah, I mean, or they leave the house very limited.
Okay.
Are now involved in doing these things. They're getting out in the public. They're improving their quality of life and their ability to cope with everyday life because they have this program now that puts them together with other people like them. I've heard stories of somebody finding that guy they can talk to. They didn't have that guy, but now they have that guy that they can talk to. So when they're feeling some of the things that you feel, they can reach out to someone and get them on the line, and it makes a huge difference.
That's terrific. Well, I'm so glad that we're hearing this because, like I said, back in May, I think you were like day 4 of the program. I mean, it was brand new, and wow, it's obviously you hit it on the head. You needed it, and it was the right thing to do. So, please keep us updated. And if there are events, you just heard my list of things here. Make sure she sends me that stuff. I will be happy to share that with my viewers and listeners.
Excellent.
Okay. Wow. Ugh. I'm sitting here very quietly because I'm listening to this and I'm looking at faces in my mind of people that I know that I've talked to, and we always think, oh, it's those Nam guys or those guys that just came back from Iraq or Iran or Afghanistan or wherever they were, Syria or Niger, World War II, Korea, all those places. It's the same stress. It's stuff that perhaps wasn't necessarily handled back then. So if you're a World War II veteran, can you join this?
You can. We do not discriminate. Veterans of all eras and their significant others are welcome to attend any of the events.
Great.
And we reach out to everyone.
Super. Okay, so let's leave that a little bit, and we'll come back to that before we wrap up one more time for the phone number and that. So what else is going on in your office? I mean, you guys got to be busy. You told me, I think, 11,000 veterans or something like that in Chautauqua County?
Give or take.
Plus or minus.
Yeah, we have a lot of veterans in the area, and all these benefits that we talk about that we help veterans access through the VA, whether it be compensation for a service-connected injury or pension for our war era veterans or health care. I'm amazed that a Vietnam veteran, who's 70 years old, will walk through the door, and it's the first time they've ever seeked out any benefits through the VA.
My dad, before he passed away at 94, never set foot in the VA.
And that is not that uncommon. And as much as we joke about the VA as service officers, and everyone always hears probably the bad stories, I have seen the VA dramatically change the lives of veterans and their families for the better.
In what way?
Whether it's financial or health care or one of my favorite things that I do are pension claims, because pension is for older veterans or surviving spouses who served during the war era, who need assistance with the tasks of daily living. So whether they're getting ready to go to assisted living or they need care in the home. And maybe the veteran has a World War II veteran and has passed away 15, 20 years ago. And the spouse will come in because they're needing help in this way, and we can provide them with that help. They're just so thankful that their loved one's service is still being rewarded, that they can get a benefit that helps improve their quality of life and maybe enables them to stay out of a nursing home or get care in the home that they didn't have before.
You know, I thought I was pretty worldly as far as information goes. Now, what you're telling me right now is like a surprise that a widow of a veteran can get benefits years later.
Yes.
I guess I didn't know
The
that.
unremarried surviving spouse of a war era veteran There's always, obviously, it's a needs-based program,
Sure.
so there's other criteria. But usually when people get to the age where they have significant healthcare costs, well, we deduct that medical expense from your income. And that is how we determine your eligibility. So in a lot of cases, when people hit that 85 to 90 years old range,
And we're living older
their
and
medical
longer.
their medical needs
Oh, yeah.
from a financial standpoint are greater than their income. So they would qualify for the full benefit they'd be eligible for.
So what do they get?
Well, here's where I'm very careful to say things.
Well,
because-
in general, what would they get?
so the maximum amount a married veteran can receive in aid and attendance monthly is $2,127 per month.
Okay.
So how that type of thing would work, let's say that you have I'm just going to give an example. Let's say you have a married couple, okay? And the husband is receiving Social Security at $1,400 a month.
Okay.
And the spouse stayed at home and raised kids, so her Social Security is not substantial. It's $700 a month. We'll use a nice round number. So their income is $2,100 a month.
Which is nothing.
Which is nothing. But let's say they need significant care in the home, or they would have to go to an assisted living or nursing home, and they have to have people come in every day to help with the tasks of daily living.
There goes the 21,000.
So let's say it costs $2,100 a month. Well, what the VA does is they take that $2,100 a month, they subtract whatever the medical expense is, and they'll reimburse up to $2,127 a month.
Wow.
So it's not a dollar for dollar math, it's close. And I'm careful to use numbers because then people come in and everybody's financial situation is different. But what that would do is that would enable that married couple to stay in their home and receive services without going broke. Or someone who doesn't need skilled nursing but might need assisted living in a private pay place that's very expensive. The entire cost of that place counts as a medical expense.
Wow. Okay.
So, and then there's the different rates for married veteran, single veteran, and a surviving spouse.
Okay. So your role, and I said this when we first started just now, was that you're not the VA, you're not the Veterans Administration, you're advocates.
Yes.
You are there to help provide information, literature, forms, who to call, maybe make the call for
We
them.
submit the application because, like all things with the VA, it's very complex, and there's certain things that you need to make the application go quickly and smoothly. So
You
we help
don't you
with
don't
those.
transport veterans, do you?
We have the veterans van, and that does take our veterans on Wednesdays and Fridays from the Jamestown area throughout the county. There's a course they take up to the Buffalo VA twice a week. And starting in January, we're going to be adding one Thursday a month. So we've seen the need increase for transportation, and we're going to start adding a third day once a month.
So who funds that?
Well, that's actually paid for by that's part of our county budget, as part of the Veteran Service Agency budget. Now, the nice thing is this. There are fundraisers throughout the county all year, and then just generous citizens who make donations to the Veterans Van. So a lot of our cost is offset by those very generous donations from local service organizations who will put on a fundraiser, and just private citizens who are kind people and write a check to the Veterans Van once a year.
Okay, so folks that are listening right now, they might say, wow, I got a little bit of money. I'd like to donate $100. How do they do that?
The best way you can do that is to contact our office, and that's 661-8255, and let us know if you'd like to make a donation. We'll tell you who to make the check out to and where to send it.
Just like that?
Just like that.
Okay. So, wow. Every time you guys come in, I'm learning all kinds of new information. Okay, so you made a very clear distinction that Veterans Day is different than Memorial Day. So how about do that for us one more time? What's the difference?
So this is what I love about Veterans Day.
Okay.
Okay. Veterans Day is not discriminate. That is a day that we honor all veterans.
Okay.
Doesn't matter what area you served in, doesn't matter how long you served for, doesn't matter how your career ended. And when I say how your career ended, whether you were a commanding general,
Okay.
or you did your 2 or 3 years and you decided to part ways with the service. Veterans Day is an opportunity to thank everyone who served. And I know a lot of people, you hear them say, thank you for your service, thank you for your service. And you'll hear a lot of veterans who maybe served during peacetime come back and say, I never left the United States, or, oh, don't thank me, because I didn't do much. I don't look at it that way. I thank veterans for the promise that they made to us, okay? So it doesn't matter whether you served during peace or war, Doesn't matter whether you were a surgeon the day you went in and you commissioned as a field grade officer, or you're an 18-year-old private going in day one. You raise your right hand, you swear an oath to support and defend the Constitution and protect our way of life. You train and you stand ready to do so. It just so happens that fate and history intervenes, and sometimes you're called upon to storm the beaches of Normandy, and sometimes you are called to stand ready during the Cold War, and you never actually leave. But your promise to your fellow countrymen is exactly the same.
And I think the service is like a big machine, in a sense that you got the guys that are on the front, but you got to have the support guys, and the guys in the front can't do their job unless the supply officers are sending things forward. You can't have the equipment running correctly if you don't have the mechanics, and those guys are the support guys behind the scenes, and maybe they never see active warfare and that, but you still need them, right?
Absolutely.
And so, so those that are listening right now that Greg's talking about, just because you didn't, have bullets flying over your head and, you were in a tank or airplane or whatever, that doesn't make you any less a veteran, right?
No. And think about the oath that they take, okay? So you had mentioned a cybersecurity thing earlier.
Yeah.
There are now jobs in the service where that's all they do, is cyber warfare or cybersecurity. They take the exact same oath as an infantryman, a front-line, straight-leg infantryman. The oath isn't different. They raise their right hand and they solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. And the oath is no different for either person. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. It just, fate intervenes. So let's go back a long, long time to December 6th, 1941. It's the day before Pearl Harbor Day. Okay? We were at peace at that time. The young men, and maybe there were a few young women then, but primarily the young men who raised their right hand that day had no idea what December 7th was going to bring to them. So it's just like if you would have enlisted in the mid-'80s, okay, and you served during peacetime. They were the same as the young men who enlisted the day before. It's just history
They
did
stood
not...
ready, no matter what.
September 10th, 2001.
Yeah.
9/11 changed the course of our country
Certainly.
and we're still living the effects
of
9/11. But veteran is a veteran is a veteran. They all raised their right hand. They all swore the same oath. And that is why we say thank you to our veterans, not because of one particular act of heroism, but because they raised their right hand and they were willing to go and do our bidding. And that is why we thank vets.
Is it my imagination, but are veterans getting a better rap these days? Are they getting more attention? Are they getting, I don't want to say what's due them, but they're looked upon in so much favorable way. Because now I see, and I wrote down the word promotions for Veterans Day. I see people doing exactly what you're saying. Thank you. I mean, the restaurants and so forth. Do you have any information on that as far as any of the organizations or businesses in the area that are doing some special thank yous?
Oh, absolutely. There are ceremonies. I have a list of things that I will be attending, and I dare not talk about one specific one because every organization, almost all of the nursing homes, all of the local restaurants offer some sort of discount on Veterans Day. The hockey arena, they're going to have the Southern Tier Express is going to be playing a game where veterans get in at a reduced rate, and they're going to wear jerseys that are Dwyer program themed, camouflage jerseys and all that is going to go back to the veterans. I myself am taking part in, holy cow, I'm going to the Fenton on the 8th for a veterans talk, and then I'm doing a luncheon at the Resource Center on the 9th, and then on the 10th I'm going to JCC for their Veterans Day ceremony. Fredonia's having a ceremony, Fredonia State's having a ceremony. They're also having a 5K veterans run. There's a Veterans Day memorial ceremony at not memorial, but they're at the Memorial Park on 3rd Street in Jamestown. Then right after that, right in the middle of Jamestown, they're doing another one on 3rd Street at 11. Then St. Luke's Church is having a service. It's
and every little
nonstop.
Every four corners, where there's a veteran cemetery or VFW or American Legion, they're having their ceremonies right in their hometown.
And that's what I encourage listeners to do if they're wondering what they should or could do. talk to your whatever corner of the county you're from. Find out your local service organization, whether it's the VFW or the DAV or the AMVETS or the American Legion. Hey, what are you guys doing this weekend for Veterans Day? Hey, we're going to have a little ceremony on the 11th, at the 11th hour, the 11th day, the 11th month, right? And that's what a lot of places do. Come on out, spend 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and you'll be glad you did.
I know in Ripley, we're having right there at our Veterans Memorial, right down smack dab in the middle of the Four Corners every year. So they do a great ceremony there. Okay. Here's a funny question for you.
Sure.
What would you say is the most unused service that the VA or the whole system offers that people don't use? Is there something that you say, gosh, I wish more people use this, they're just not aware of it? Is there something out there?
So what we were talking about earlier, pension, okay? Everyone's familiar with compensation. Now, compensation is if you have an injury or illness in service, and that injury or illness continues to bother you to this day, so you hurt that knee jumping out of an airplane, and here you are 20 years later and that knee still gives you problems. A lot of people know about that. You come in, you file your claim, and then the VA will award you a disability rating, 10%, 20%, whatever is applicable.
Right.
Most people know about that. People still don't utilize it because they think they have to be wounded in combat, and that's not the case. You just have to be injured in service. But pension that we talked about earlier, so for our war-era veterans who need assistance with the tasks of daily living, they have no idea that this is available to them. And a lot of times people will be paying out of pocket for a year or two and dwindle their entire savings before they finally get to a point like, gee, I don't know if I can carry on with this. We should check with the Veteran Service Agency since he's a veteran or she's a veteran or she's a surviving spouse of a veteran and see if there's anything available to us. And they realize, I could have been collecting this the entire time.
And it's not retroactive, I'm
And
assuming.
it's retroactive from the date of claim, but
Not before that.
not before
Oh,
that. So
geez.
some people know, and they come in. So almost any time I have a veteran in the office, even if I can't help them, if they're war era, like our Vietnam guys at this point are in their mid to late 60s, most of them are not ready for that yet. But I tell them about it.
Yeah.
Because 10 years from now, 15 years from now, or they might have a parent that's Korean War era or World War II era or the surviving spouse. And pension is one of those things people just don't know about. And you don't have to have served in the war, just during the war, by one day. Overlap one day.
Okay, I hear dog barking, so it must be Linda Spalding on the line.
I told him to stop. It's chickens. I'm going to have him sign up for the military.
There you go.
It's great to see you on the show, Greg, and welcome back, Doc.
Thank you.
And thank you to you, Greg, and all the veterans for the tremendous service that you give. There's no greater commitment than to do what our veterans have done.
Right on.
Lay down their life
Absolutely.
to protect us.
Thank you.
So what's new in your world, Lynn?
Well, we just had our computer training graduation at the Brockton or Harbor Library.
I
on
saw
Thursday.
that. I saw that online on your Facebook page.
Yes, we
Yeah.
got it on right away.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, I love that Facebook page. Thank you.
It's okay.
And thank you to Josh at our office, Josh Milquist, who posts it all for us. I
Right.
try to send him something at least once a week.
Great. Well, that's what people want to hear about.
Yeah.
So what kind of things do they learn in that computer training?
Oh, well, there's a press release coming out. It should be in the next edition of the senior paper in Jamestown and Dunkirk.
Okay.
One of the things they do is they get the basic computer training. This is just basic. It's one-to-one generations online with a peer coach. That's somebody that's, their peer, their own age, with our senior employment program. And not only to get comfortable with it, but to do fun things, to have email, and also they can go online for their Social Security. We show them that. And also, tremendous service that they're doing right now is to prepare professional resumes. Show them how to do it themselves on the computer. And they're really classy looking.
Lynn, do you deal with veterans very often?
Veterans are our first priority.
Ah,
We are to serve veterans before any other population.
super.
And so I always make every effort to serve our veterans.
And Lynn, if anybody's interested in that particular class, I'm sure you have some more coming up. How do they get a hold of you?
Well, they should call me at the Office for the Aging, and I will refer them on to
Okay.
the various coaches. The number is 4471.
Okay, or they can go to your Facebook page and get
Right.
information there too. All right, super. Okay, anything else you want to share?
No, I hope you had a happy Halloween.
I was on the road. Yeah. Okay, very good.
Okay, have a great weekend and,
Okay.
and a great week. Thanks.
You too. Take care.
Bye.
All right. So I'm assuming your two offices work pretty closely together.
Oh yeah, Office for the Aging and the Veterans Service Agency happens to be we're co-located in Jamestown, and that works out fabulously because every once in a while I'll have someone I can refer to them for services or counseling on health care, and then vice versa. There's times I'll get a veteran and we can just work hand in hand on different things.
Okay. Very often we see these little vignettes on TV or commercials about veterans being homeless. Do we have that issue here in Chautauqua County?
Not so much in Chautauqua County, but I would say like any other segment of society, we have a homeless population. And it's really hard to explain why. In Chautauqua County, that's not so much the case, but I know there are different parts of the country where it is.
What if they're not homeless, but a veteran was living in what we would probably all consider extremely substandard living conditions? And I don't even know what that might be, but without water, electricity, really dire situation. Is there anything you can do for them?
Absolutely. So that benefit we were talking about before for older folks who need help with the tasks of daily living, we also have something called basic pension. Okay.
Basic pension?
Basic pension, and it is the same thing. It's for a war era veteran that has significantly low income. So this is not, the medical expenses will still deduct it, but if you have someone who's just very, very low income, they can qualify for basic pension, which certainly isn't going to make them wealthy, but hopefully it would pull them out of the scenario that you're talking about.
Okay.
Something you were saying earlier I wanted to touch on, and then we had our caller, which was great. Veterans are very popular right now. And I mean politically, it doesn't matter which side of the political aisle you fall in, it doesn't matter which area you served in. I have overwhelmingly been amazed at how appreciative people are to our veteran population. And Vietnam veterans in particular, they had a rough go of things.
Yes, it was terrible.
And one thing I have seen is our Vietnam veterans are being embraced as well. Long overdue, but they're being embraced as well, and that is a very good thing to see. But what people forget is that there's 300 million people living in this country, more than that. So if you had a 99% approval rating, that would be great. There'd still be 3 million people that don't like you.
Yeah, that's true.
And unfortunately, those people do get airtime here and there, but overwhelmingly, I come across 100 people, 99 say thank you for your service.
Absolutely. I know I've seen a lot of the World War II vets with their hats and their ships or their service, and they just grin. They just soak it up, and it's so nice. And you're absolutely right about the folks that came back from Vietnam. Well, I'll just call it the politics of the day just really beat them up terrible, and they came back. Many felt disgraced and embarrassed, and that just should never be the case. And my hat's off to all my friends that served at that time. Greg, we're down to like half a minute left, so how about anything you want to share as far as information, how people get a hold of you?
Yes, you can call our office anytime, 661-8255. We're located on 3rd Street, and we have an office in the North County co-located with the Dunker Clinic. Dave Adams is our service officer. His number is 268-6030. And as always, happy Veterans Day.
Yes.
All of our veterans out there.
And let's go one more time to the Dwyer program.
The Dwyer program, please, 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 if you are a veteran or you want to get involved, contact Cindy Reedy at 661-8447 and let her know that you want to be a new Dwyer person, and she'd be happy to have you.
Awesome. Okay, folks, there you have it. So we'll see you all again next Saturday, 9 a.m. right here on Access 5. I'm Doc Hamels. My guest has been Greg Carlson, the Director of Veteran Services. And check out this information, guys, gals. We all know veterans, and we all know that folks that should be getting some services and some support. So get out there and check it out. And get those flags out and get ready for Veterans Day next Saturday, but Friday, I guess they're taking the day off. So take care, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.